Eternal Health, episode number 34.
You're listening to the Eternal Health Podcast, where we discuss God's great design for your life in body, mind, and spirit. Your host is Laura Rimmer, who's a nutritionist, author, speaker, and health coach. Looking for yoga tips or the latest protein shake recommendations? Sorry, you're in the wrong place. If you're ready for no-nonsense, multi-layered health expertise drawing on evidence-based nutrition and biblical principles, welcome to Eternal Health. For show notes and to download your free 5-minute Optimum Health Scorecard, please visit laurarimmer.com. Enjoy the show.
Hi there, it's Laura Rimmer. Welcome to another episode of Eternal Health. How has your week been? I hope it's been really good. Mine has been busy. You know, you have those weeks where there's just a ton of different things and you've got to switch mentally from one thing to the next quite quickly. That's been my week. And next week, I've got another kind of very busy week. I'm helping out with church holiday club. So every year we do a kids kind of holiday club for the summer holidays, and my husband and I help out with that. I've been doing it for about 4 years and it's really enjoyable. Very busy, very tiring. You've got 100 kind of screaming children, energetic children, playing games and all sorts throughout the week. So I'm anticipating it being quite a tiring week next week. And around that, I've got to do my coaching and get some content done for my website and stuff and get another podcast out. So yeah, just been planning for that this week and tying up some loose ends and things, as well as a lot of sea swimming. It's been gorgeous weather here again, and I've just totally enjoyed swimming down at the sea about 3 or 4 times a week at the moment, and it's just beautiful. The weather's been gorgeous. The sea is quite warm. And there was a blue shark spotted not far from where I live. So I can't say that hasn't been going through my mind as I'm swimming out kind of, quite away from the shore, thinking about the possibility of a blue shark. But I'm okay, I'm here and I've survived. No blue shark got me. So anyway, let's move on, shall we? Let's start today's topic, which is all about sugar. So the title of this week's podcast episode is How to Stop Sugar Cravings and Curb Carb Cravings. It's a question I get asked a lot. I get a lot of emails from people subscribed to my website saying, how do you reduce sugar cravings? What are your best tips and techniques and things for doing that? So I thought I'd do a podcast episode on that. And just to say right up front here as well, I will be doing a really comprehensive 5-day challenge training coming up mid-August. So starting the 20th of August, 2018, I will be running the Healthy Gut and Hormones Challenge. Now, this is the first time I've announced it because I sent a survey to my email list this week asking what topic you'd want me to do a challenge on. The last challenge we did back in January was on Tame Your Toxins. It was the 5-day Tame Your Toxins challenge. And we had 1,000 people in our Facebook group participating in that. A few hundred who really, participated fully in that challenge. So it was a real success. So we are doing another 5-day challenge, and I did a survey to my audience saying, what do you want me to do the challenge on? And by far and away, the most popular topic was healthy gut and hormones. Now, just to say at this point, closely related to gut health and hormones is sugar and carbs. So if you're listening to this already and thinking, yes, I struggle with sugar cravings, I struggle with carb cravings, eating too much sugar, all that kind of stuff, then do bookmark now, put in your calendar from the 20th of August, so we're running for 5 days, starting on that Monday, a 5-day Healthy Gut and Hormones Challenge, which will show you how to overcome sugar cravings. Now, if you haven't listened to last week's episode, then do go back after this one and have a listen, because it was a really interesting interview I did with Demir Bentley, who is a time management and productivity expert. And You hear that, don't you? Time management and productivity, and it's easy to think that sounds boring or everything's been said before. But Demir is a different kind of expert. He's very motivational. He gives some really cracking insights into how to best master your time. So do go and listen to episode 33 of Eternal Health with Demir Bentley. Okay, so let's get into today's show. So again, the title of this show, episode number 34, is How to Stop Sugar Cravings and Curb Carb Cravings. Now, I've got to hold my hands up. I was a big sugar addict for many years. Many people are. Whether they're not even full on addicted to sugar, they do have a propensity to overeat sugar. So my estimation would be that, 80% of people probably struggle when it comes to sugar and eat too much of it, and in turn that will be negatively affecting their health. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to overcome that, how to overcome those sugar addictions. What is so wrong with sugar then, just to lead in with this, because why would we want to address a sugar addiction? Sugar, if you didn't already know, is something which can lead to type 2 diabetes. If we keep overloading our body with sugar, it causes an insulin response within our body. And if you keep sparking this insulin response repeatedly every day, every week, then eventually that insulin response kind of wears out. It starts ignoring the signals, and that's when you have haywire blood sugar, and that will lead to type 2 diabetes. Now, I've mentioned this before in a podcast, but approximately 84 million American adults, I would estimate, figures are going to be similar in the UK proportionally. So 84 million American adults, that's more than 1 out of 3, have pre-diabetes. Of those people with pre-diabetes, 90% of them don't know they have it. Pre-diabetes puts you at an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. So some of the big things that are preventable and are causing premature death in our society. So let's just look at that again. 84 million people wandering around with pre-diabetes, 90% of those don't even know they have it. So that's the majority of the population struggling with this stuff, and it's a ticking time bomb, a really severe health issue just waiting to happen, and people don't know that they've got it. So they're carrying on doing the things, presumably, that are causing this pre-diabetes, namely eating too much sugar. So other negative effects that processed sugar has on our bodies is that it stresses the liver. Excess intake of fructose in particular can cause the liver to create a lot of extra fat. So fatty liver disease caused by too much fructose. And sugar, just to get into a little bit of biochemistry, I guess, sugar, which is sucrose, is 50% fructose and 50% glucose. Also, eating too much sugar can contribute to leptin resistance. Leptin is your satiety hormone, which says stop eating, we're not hungry anymore, or start eating because you're hungry. So if that is out of whack, then that can contribute to obesity and just not knowing, whether your body's actually hungry or full. And that can cause many other issues like sleep problems and obviously, weight gain. So sugar is a problem. So what can we do then? What can we do to curb those sugar cravings and other refined carbohydrate cravings? Well, I'm going to give you 6 simple and quite rapid tips and solutions for getting rid of those cravings. I've used these things in my own life. I've used them with my clients to great effect. So, number 1, you may not like this, but a period of detox and a period of abstinence. Okay, so this is, out of all of the 6 tips, this is the hardest one, and you don't necessarily have to do this straight up. You could do the other things first, but I would say, and as someone who is, I take what the Bible says very seriously. It says, Paul says in the New Testament, everything is permissible. So for the Christian, everything is permissible, but not everything is helpful. Not everything is kind of good for you. So I don't want to be mastered by anything. So if I can eat sugar in moderation and enjoy, a little bit of chocolate here or there, or some jam on some toast or whatever, fine. But if those things are mastering me, if it's got to the point of an addiction where I'm struggling with it, I don't have control over the food that I eat, the food that I eat is controlling me, then I will want to cut that off. I want to stop that because I don't want to be mastered by something. And I'm guessing you don't either. You don't want to be a slave to a sugar addiction. So one of the best ways to do this is to just cut off the sugar. So stop eating sugar. And that period of abstinence could be for a few weeks, could be just a few days. It could be for a lifetime. I know lots of people who have given up sugar completely because they just feel they can't be trusted with it. And for the people who know they've got pre-diabetes and diabetes, then it's a very real and very present issue in their life. So they say, I can't have any amount of sugar. So they just detox from sugar completely and don't have it again. So ultimately, is sugar good for us? No, it's not. Especially white refined sugar. So if you can just go, you know what, it's unhealthy for me, I'm going to give it up, then do that. I would always say do that. That's gonna it's gonna be the best for your health. It's gonna prevent these candida overgrowths and leptin responses, insulin resistance, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely, sugar is something which I believe you should just get out of your diet as much as possible. And the best way to do that is just to cut out sugar completely. So that's my first tip. Second tip is fiber. Fiber is your friend when it comes to detoxing from sugar. Fiber will support a detoxification and it also will get rid of candida. So candida is a yeast and it feeds on sugar. So by upping your fiber, it helps to get rid of this candida. So you want to be aiming for around about 40 grams of fiber in your diet per day. Okay, so tip number 3 I have for you is to really get to grips with your gut health. Okay, so again, that's related to fighting candida when you have good probiotic rich foods in your diet. So the good healthy bacteria, this can help address candida. It sorts out your gut health. So you want to be having things like kimchi, kefir, natural yogurt, not with sugar in though, just plain natural yogurt, and sour foods as well. So it's things like sauerkraut is in the name, isn't it? That's a sour food. It's a probiotic food. Maybe also a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar in a cup of water as well. That's going to really help reduce those sugar cravings. Tip number 4, healthy fats. Healthy fats. Now, again, I'm going to talk a lot more on this stuff in our 5-day gut health and hormones challenge coming up at the end of August. But just to say now that healthy fats are really your friend when it comes to reducing sugar cravings. Typically, think about it, low-fat foods are generally very high in sugar. So the reverse of that is to reduce the sugar and up the fat. Now, be mindful, I've done episodes on this before, do not go near vegetable oils and those type of fats. They're rancid fats. They're very, very harmful to your health. You want to be including things like medium chain triglyceride oils. So things like coconut oil, butter, grass-fed organic butter, that kind of stuff, which who doesn't like, lovely butter and coconut oil? We enjoy fat. Fat is satiating and you've got to have one or the other. If you don't have sugar, you've got to have fat, else what you're eating is totally bland and boring. No one wants to eat just, a broiled chicken breast. No one wants to eat like a cardboard, something really just untasty. So yeah, fat is your friend when it comes to reducing those sugar cravings. And point number 5 is check your minerals and electrolytes. Now, your main electrolytes in your body are these 3: potassium, magnesium, and calcium. Now, magnesium and potassium in particular have a large effect on sugar cravings. Magnesium is used in the regulation of glucose, regulation of insulin, and in the neurotransmitter dopamine. So a deficiency in magnesium can manifest in the form of really intense sugar cravings, especially for things like chocolate. So yeah, you want to be making sure that you have enough magnesium, enough potassium as well. Potassium deficiency can also result in sugar cravings. Ironically, when you eat sugar, that further depletes potassium as well, and also depletes magnesium. So instead of reaching for the sugar, go for potassium-rich foods, things like avocados, again, coconut, leafy greens, same with magnesium, leafy greens, coconut, avocado, those types of things. Magnesium, I use a magnesium spray because I find it very difficult to get enough magnesium in my diet, so I use a mineral spray that I put on topically on my body. So you can always get one of those if you feel like you're definitely not going to get enough magnesium. That will really help reduce those sugar cravings. And finally, the final point is around supplements. Now, I'm not a big one for supplementation. I like to get most of my nutrients from my diet, but there are a few which will help. So the first one is B vitamins. Now, again, you don't have to buy a B vitamin supplement. You can eat foods very rich in B vitamins. So things like liver, I will eat lamb's liver at least once a month, organic lamb's liver. And that's very rich in B vitamins, rich in iron as well, and other things. But you can also take nutritional yeast, which is high in B vitamins. So that would be my recommendation around B vitamins. B vitamins help with carbohydrate metabolism, so you make better use of those carbs that you're eating. The other supplement I recommend is cod liver oil. Now, I've talked about cod liver oil before. Basically, you need to find a really high quality cod liver oil where the ratios of the vitamins contained, vitamins A, vitamins D, are in the correct proportions. So I will leave a link in the show notes to the one that I recommend. Do not buy just general fish oils or general cod liver oils because they're not very good and you're not going to get all the nutrients you need in the right proportions. So cod liver oil needs to be high quality. When it is, that can help reduce sugar cravings for the reasons we talked about earlier in terms of fat. Cod liver oil is a really, really good source of fat. So that would be my second recommendation for supplementation. And the final thing I would recommend is L-glutamine. This is a really kind of, this is a stealth one. This is an under the radar supplement. Not many people know about it, but it really helps. It's an amino acid. And it's been found to help reduce and even eliminate cravings by steadying your blood sugar. So you can add around 500 milligrams of L-glutamine 3 times a day with meals, and that will really help curb those cravings for sugar and white refined carbohydrates. So that's it. So that's my 6 tips. Let's recap, shall we? So tip number 1 for curbing sugar cravings and other refined carbs is an abstinence, a period of detoxification where you just get those things out of your diet. Tip number 2 is fiber. Be including at least 40 grams of fiber in your diet per day, which will support detox and get rid of candida. Number 3 is gut health. Tend to your gut health. Eat probiotic-rich foods. Number 4 is healthy fats are your friends. So include things like coconut oil and cod liver oil in your diet. Number 5 is make sure your mineral levels and electrolytes are high. So in particular, potassium, magnesium, and calcium. And finally, number 6 is use some supplementations if you want to, which will help. So in particular, L-glutamine, B vitamins, and again, cod liver oil. So let's round off this episode again to say that I'm going to be covering a lot of this stuff in a lot more detail in my upcoming 5-day Healthy Gut and Hormone Challenge. So do keep an eye out for that. Go to laurarimmer.com, sign up to my email list, and I'll be sending out details of that. The challenge checklist that I'm going to give you for free will be, I'm in the middle of producing it at the moment, so that's going to go out over the next week. So stay tuned. I will give you more details. But for now, you can get on my mailing list at laurarimmer.com. And I will be walking you through live trainings every day for 5 days on how to really address good gut health, sugar cravings, and balancing your hormones. So that's quite exciting, and it will be great for you to join that group. I'm going to leave you today with some quotes from the book of Proverbs. 3 quotes from Proverbs around sugar and food. So the first one is Proverbs 16:24. Pleasant words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Proverbs 23:2. And put a knife to your throat if you are given to appetite. And Proverbs 25:27. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it glorious to seek one's own glory. So that's it today. I thank you for listening to this episode. Look forward to speaking to you again on another episode of Eternal Health. Hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Eternal Health Podcast. Go to laurarimmer.com to download your free Optimum Health Scorecard and find out your current health score, plus tips, coaching, and training on how to get slim, healed, and energized. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, and we'll catch you next time on Eternal Health.